This is the hairstyle for Zen, Chi, Tao, and Kin. The supplies that you will need and tools are a brush to brush their hair. I use my spornet comb to comb back all little pieces of hair, the baby hairs. A water bottle and hairspray. I like this one because it's really sticky, but I also like and it's not expensive. So this is a good one to really like stick their hair back. And then elastics, and then I use these little clips. I bought them on Amazon for really cheap, just because they're easier for keeping the hairs apart that I need in different places, but I don't have to put an elastic around it. And then this is called Topsy Turvy, and I love this for the very last step. So most of these things you can buy at Walmart or on Amazon. So the first thing you do is you're getting their hair parted the way that it needs to be. So you start with their eyebrows, in the middle of their eyebrows, and you part straight back. And this part comes all the way back. I'm gonna have Aubrey turn her head. Oh, this is our beautiful, beautiful model Aubrey. So you're parting it all the way back to the bottom of their head. So this part, you have this section of hair that stays out, and this whole section is parted on both sides. And this is gonna be where your French braid is all the way down the middle section. Did I lose my clip over here? I did, huh? So I've clipped these pieces out of the way. It's really important that this section of the part is really straight and slick because it's what you're gonna see. As you come back, it needs to be even, but it's gonna be covered up. So it's really hard to get the back part super straight, but it's gonna be covered. So if it's not perfect, the back part is okay to not be perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and start with her French braid. I'm gonna try to take it step by step. For those of you that don't know how to French braid, I think that it's super important to learn how to French braid, but I know not everybody wants to, and so I think there are people who are willing to help out if you can't French braid. So it needs to be really wet so that you can get nice clean parts. And you start slicking back this front part. We're gonna take a section, so I got it wet, just slicking it back, and you're gonna take a section in the front. So a lot of people like to fluff their braids and pancake their braids, and because it's for a dance competition, we want it just slick. We don't want it pancaked, we don't want it like lots of volume in the front. We want a nice slicked, sleek look. So I'm gonna take my hairspray. This, you can see Aubrey's got like her little baby hairs right here, and I'm gonna spray it really well. And I'm gonna take my spornet comb and I'm gonna pull them back. I've also heard that a toothbrush works for that. I've never tried that. So I still have everything parted, and I'm just gonna braid this middle section. I'm gonna keep my water bottle handy and my hairspray handy so I can keep slicking it back. And you can see how nice and wet that is. So I split it into 3 sections. I have my right side, I cross over and it becomes the middle, and my left side, I cross over and it becomes the middle. And if you know how to French braid, you can just skip this section. I want fairly small parts just because it looks better in the braid. So I pick up a new piece and I just add it into my right section, and then I repeat. My right section becomes my middle section, and then I do the same thing on the left. I grab a small piece of hair all the way to the middle. So I'm grabbing that all the way to the middle, and I add it into my left side. And this side isn't very wet, so it's not gonna be slick. So I take my hairspray, spray it, and then I slick it back again. And then that side becomes the middle. And you repeat this all the way down to the very bottom of her head. Okay, so I've gotten to the end of Aubrey's braid at the bottom of her head, And all I'm gonna do right here, I'm gonna braid it just a tiny bit because it just gives me an easy way to part it, but you don't have to. So I've got the braid where I want it, and now I'm gonna add an elastic. So right now I'm just adding a small elastic because later I'm gonna use a big one. So I just come in and I keep it nice and tight. I'm actually gonna spray this a tiny bit. So it's nice and slick. So I use this elastic and I come right up to the bottom of where the braid is. And I actually am gonna use a couple on hers because her hair is so thick. So I just put that elastic in. Okay, and sometimes I double up, so I have 2 elastics right here just because it makes it super tight. So she's all good to go with her braid down the side. That's the hardest part. Once you get this part, this is super easy. So we're just gonna wet these sides down. And then I take my spornet comb again. And all we're doing is we're slicking these sides back. And this is why that why these parts didn't have to be as straight, because this is coming over. It's gonna cover them up. But it is really important that these sides are really wet. So you can see, if I don't wet all of this, it's gonna look really frumpy. And I think that's the most common mistake I see with the dancer's hair, is that it didn't get wet enough and it didn't get slicked back very well. So I get it super wet and I get it super sticky. This should, like, her hair should almost be hard by the time that it dries because it's so slicked back. And that's how it looks really nice at competition and how it stays all day at competition. So then I use my spornet comb. So I slick this hair back and I'm just bringing it into the ponytail. And this is a low ponytail, so it should be at like the bottom of their head. And I'm just adding this into the ponytail just on the side that it came from. And then I just do the same thing on this side. I just slick it back. And I'm just adding it in to where the pony is. So at this point, you could use, this is the last big hair elastic that's going in. So you could add, you can keep using, it just depends on how much hair your daughter has. You can keep using the little elastics, or if you want to add a big elastic. I've used so many on her hair that it should stay nice and tight. But if you feel more comfortable, then just do a big elastic at the end. Okay, tilt your head down. So then right here, I'm gonna come back and just spray and just slick that up, because I just didn't get them in nice and tight. Okay, so there's your hairstyle. The very last step that we have is just to wrap. We don't want to see all of these elastics, so we're gonna, or I guess it's not your last step, we have to straighten it as well. But you're just gonna take your topsy-turvy tool and you're gonna stick it straight in so that it's pointing through. You've got the sharp edge pointed through and the loop right here. And then I'm gonna take a longer piece of her hair, and I like to take it from the bottom, and I'm gonna spray it. Aubrey's gonna be so sticky. Spray it, and I'm gonna just wrap her ponytail. This is my favorite trick ever. And then I pull it through this loop. I grab onto this part, and I just pull, that's just pulling straight through her pony. And then that stays wrapped so good. Like nothing else works the way that that works. So it's wrapped, then you can't see all those ugly elastics. Her hair's nice and slicked. So then the last step. Right now, Aubrey's hair is fairly straight, but this is not straight enough for competition. They all have to be exactly the same. So you have to go back with a straightener and straighten her hair. all straight. I'm gonna just take hairspray over it, slick it so that all those little hairs kind of grab to the bigger hairs. And she is all done. And I'm obsessed with all the hairspray, so I go back and spray all the tiny hairs down that I can because they drive me crazy. But please, notice how slicked her hair looks, how it looks wet and really slicked. That's how they need to look. It shouldn't look like something that they necessarily would want to wear to school. And then see how straight her ponytail is and how it sticks together. It's not, I didn't rat it up for any volume. It's straight and slick. That's how they need to look, so that's awesome. Okay, Aubrey.